Hey, what's good, everybody? I want to welcome y'all to the first official episode of Flock Talk. I'm your host, Mr. CHARMCITY. And yeah, with this channel that I just put up, we're going to talk about Ravens all the time, man. I'm a huge Ravens fan. But before we get into it, let me give y'all a little introduction to myself. So as I said, I'm Mr. CHARMCITY. I'm B-More bred, man, born and raised. I'm an 80s baby. Hey, and I still reside in the city. I love my city, man. You know, unfortunately, Baltimore gets a bad rap, you know. The negative headlines is what you see in the news. And while it's true that there's a lot of hurt, a lot of hate in my city, I'll tell you what it's even more of. It's a lot of love. It's a lot of genuine people. It's a lot of great people. I like to consider myself one of those people, and that's what I like to represent. That's what I want my city to represent. Because like I said, the good definitely outweighs the bad in Baltimore. And if you don't know for yourself, hey, come see about it, man. A great city. But yeah, let's get into it. So, first thing I want to talk about, and it's an unfortunate thing, but it's a necessary thing, of course, to get into, are these season-ending injuries that the Ravens have suffered, man. So, it started off with L.J. Fort, then J.K. Dobbins. Next, Justice Hill went down. Gus Edwards followed. And Marcus Peters, man. So, yeah, these injuries, there's no way to sugarcoat it, man. I mean, these all are tough losses. L.J. Fort, you know, he was expected to be part of the middle linebacker rotation with Patrick Queen and Malik Harrison. You know, I like L.J. Fort, man. He's a very good player, and I feel like he fits with the Ravens middle linebackers perfectly. But, you know, now he's out for the season. But like I said, we got Patrick Queen. We got Malik Harrison. We'll get into that a little more in a few. J.K. Dobbins. Man, big loss. No other way to put it. J.K., man, he was going to become a superstar this year. I'm certain of it. He's going to become a superstar. The one thing that J.K. has for a fact that we don't know if the rest of the backs on our roster have is that home run ability. J.K. can take a run 50, 60, 70 yards in a blink of an eye, man. And that's what we're going to miss most about not having J.K. this season, man. Who knows? Maybe one of these other backs on our team may provide it. Maybe the young boy, Tyson Williams. We'll see. We'll see. Justice Hill, man. So Justice Hill, as all Ravens fans know, he wasn't really a big part of the running game per se because we had J.K., we had Gus. So, you know, he was kind of the odd man out. You know, it's hard to get opportunities when you got two great backs in front of you. But he was definitely a huge special teams contributor. So we're gonna miss Justice in that capacity. And the way I was looking at it when J.K. went down, I was expecting Justice to finally get his opportunity in the backfield. And it's just unfortunate that he won't be able to do it. Next, Gus the Bus Edwards, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. When this one came across to me, this one hurt, man. This one hurt because once J.K. went down, once Justice wasn't in the equation this season, I knew that Gus was finally gonna show the rest of the world, because Ravens fans, we know what Gus is capable of. I mean, we see it all the time. If I'm not mistaken, this man averages 5 yards a carry for his career. Like, I always joke that Gus always goes forward, man. I don't know if I've ever seen him get have a run for negative yards. He always goes forward, man. I knew he was going to break out this year. So when I got the call from my homeboy that Gus went down, first of all, I didn't believe it. I'm like, man, hold up. What's your source, man? He's like, man, it's all over Twitter. I was like, man, you got to double check these pages and make sure these are verified pages, man. Somebody playing games. So, yeah, man, it hurt me big time to hear Gus went down. And last, but certainly not least, Marcus Peters, man. listen, I'm not the type of person that likes to compare injuries or say this one is a greater loss than another one. And even though I don't do that, you could definitely make the argument that losing Marcus Peters for the season may hurt us more than any other injury that we've suffered so far. And yes, I said we. Come on, y'all already know, man. As a Ravens fan, I'm part of the team, man. I'm part of the team. So, look, let's just get it out the way now, because I know that's something I'm going to do as we continue on. So, man, when we lost Marcus Peters, man, that is big time, man, because I look at Marcus Peters as the emotional leader of not only the defense, but the entire team, actually. Like, we know that man plays with nothing but passion and heart, man. And not to mention, like, he's arguably the best playmaker in the NFL on the defensive side, man. I call him Mr. Pick Six. Because whenever you get that ball in his hands, man, it's a good chance we getting points on the board. So, yeah, man, that one hurts. I mean, all of them hurt. Let's get it correct. Because Gus, JK, LJ Fort, and Justice, man, they all hurt because all these guys played a role on this team, man. And one thing you know about the Baltimore Ravens, man, team is everything. So I'm sure when one of their brothers goes down, man, it affects the whole team, man. But with all that said, the main reason I made this video today, the main thing that inspired me to finally start this channel is because I want to reassure all my fellow Baltimore Ravens fans that even though these injuries are significant, and like I said, no way to sugarcoat it, it's going to hurt some, but guess what? We still have the team in place to accomplish all the goals we had set before these injuries happened, man. And let's get into it. Number one, we still got Lamar Jackson, man. We got Lamar Jackson, Action Jackson, the biggest X factor in the NFL, man. Whenever Lamar's on that field, your team got a chance, especially in the regular season. Come on. Listen, you know, the media, these analysts, yeah, they like to tear us down for our shortcomings in the playoffs thus far during Lamar's, time at the helm. But one thing nobody can deny is what that man has accomplished in the regular season. As long as Lamar's out there, you've always got a chance, man. Listen, media outlets, they like to criticize Lamar's passing ability, which is kind of hilarious to me when you think about this man won MVP leading the league in touchdown passes, right? But he can't pass. Hilarious. But this is the thing. Can Lamar still improve in the passing game? Of course. But with that said, what quarterback can't improve in the passing game? That's the thing that upsets me. They like to criticize and try to tear Lamar down for things, number one, that he does better than a lot of guys in the league, but also things that every other player needs to improve on as well. So yes, can Lamar improve in the passing game? Yes. Will he improve in the passing game? Of course. But here's the thing that Lamar can do that no one else can do at the level he does it. And that's what he does in the running game. Like, listen, Lamar, and it's going to sound crazy to say this, as a quarterback, might be the most explosive runner in the league. So that's the thing. Lamar's always going to have that aspect of the game. And here's the thing. So he'll always have that, and he'll continue to improve as a passer. So the sky's the limit for Lamar, man. And I've just got this feeling that he's going to have a ridiculous, huge year this year, man. I wouldn't be shocked in the least if we talking about a 2-time MVP once it's all said and done this year, man. So that's the number one reason to still be optimistic. Number two, even with these injuries we suffered, we still got an amazing roster, man. The Ravens have an amazing roster, man. Let's start with a guy who I believe is going to be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year this year. Marlon Humphrey, man. Come on. Marlon Humphrey, beast. beast, man. Like I think back to when we first drafted Marlon Humphrey, and I didn't know a lot about Marlon. Now, what I usually do, well, before the draft, I go and I look at all the top prospects. I look at the different mock drafts that the guys do, and when I see certain players are slotted to be, they assume will be selected by the Ravens, I start to watch tape on them. And when I watched the tape, I saw that he had all the attributes you really look for in a corner. The one thing that they, I feel like the mock draft guys, the analysts, tried to knock Marlon for before he made it into the league was his ball skills. Said he didn't have great ball skills. And as we're seeing, Marlon Humphrey has great ball skills. And when I think of ball skills, well, when most people think about ball skills, you usually think about the ability to intercept the ball. But see what Marlon does, yeah, he can pick the ball off, but he's got that Marlo punch, man. He got that punch, man. He's perfected that thing. What's the guy that used to play for the Chicago Bears, the corner? It's slipping my mind right now, but he was a guy that perfected that. And you can tell that Marlon Humphrey's been watching a lot of film of that guy because he's got it down pat now. He's perfected it, man. And he's just great in every aspect. He's a great tackler. He's great in coverage, zone or man. And like I said, I think he's going to be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. So we still got Marlon back there. I want to stick with the secondary real quick. So we've got great cornerback depth. We still got Jimmy Smith. Listen, Jimmy Smith has always been one of my favorite players, man. Yeah, he struggled with injuries, and that's been the thing that, has frustrated fans, and I'm sure frustrated him himself, But what I do know is when Jimmy's on the field, he's one of the best corners in the league. Some people may want to argue that, but man, listen, my eyes don't lie, man. I got contacts and man, I can see clear. I can see clear, man. So we still got Jimmy. We've got Tavon Young coming back, man. A player I'm so excited about. I've always loved Tavon Young's game, man. Personally, I feel like the only thing that's held Tavon back from becoming a superstar is his injuries, man, which are unfortunate, man. When I think of Tavon Young, I always compare Tavon Young to Ladarius Webb. Another guy that I love, man, and another guy that had so much talent. Unfortunately, over time, injuries took their toll on Ladarius Webb, and I feel like he never became that player you saw that he was about to become. And honestly, I'm praying that doesn't happen to Tavon Young. I hope that he is able to become that player, that superstar that I feel like he can become. And man, like I said, prayers up for Tavon, man. I hope he stays healthy this year, and I hope he can continue that upward trajectory that he was on his way to before he got injured. Anthony Averett. Anthony Averett, he's an interesting guy to me. He's a guy that has all the talent in the world. He's also a guy that that defensive coordinator Wink Martindale has talked up all offseason. If I remember correctly, I think he said that Anthony Averett, in his opinion, was the third best corner on the team. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that's what he said, but I don't want that. I don't want y'all to take that for fact, but I'm pretty sure he did. So I'm just excited, man. I'm excited to see if Averett can be this player that his coaches and that his teammates believe he can be. I know back in college, Averett and Marlon Humphrey were actually the starting corners on a very, very good Alabama team, man. So there's no doubt that Averett has the talent. We'll see this year because he's going to get plenty of opportunities. I think he may be the starting corner across from Marlon. So he's going to get plenty of opportunities to show whether he's the player that we all think he can be or not. Chris Westry. I'm going to tell y'all a funny thing about Chris Westry. So he's a guy that we got late last year from the Dallas Cowboys. When I went to the Ravens training camp earlier this summer, we went over to our seat in the bleachers, sat down. And as soon as the full team drill started and I saw Chris Westry, I said, hold up, man. This dude is huge, man. Like, the length that he has for a corner is ridiculous. He's 6'4". And I remember one play, like he was lined up against James Prochet, another player that I'm very high on, and I think is going to make his mark this year. And just to see the difference in their height, man, it was crazy to me. And I think what impressed me the most is to be that long and lanky, like Chris Westry is. He has great change of direction. Like he moves like a smaller corner, and to have that length and to be able to move like a smaller corner, man, I think that's going to pay dividends for him in the long run. So I'm excited to see Chris Westry in any opportunities that he gets this year. So that's just talking about the corners. Now, let's get into the safeties, man. A guy who I think's about to take a huge leap this year, Deshaun Elliott, the Joker, man. Like, you could even see it in the preseason, man. You can just say he's locked in. You can tell he's locked in. He's ready to take that next step, man. I think he's about to become that player that he was back at Texas with the Longhorns. If y'all ever watched any Deshaun Elliott tape from back in college, the guy was a beast. And I just feel like this year, he's going to take that next step to getting closer to becoming that beast in the NFL. And Chuck Clark. Can't leave Chuck Clark out, man. Chuck Clark's just a good player. Here's the thing. Does Chuck do anything exceptionally as far as like physically on the field? I don't know. I tell you what I do know about Chuck Clark though. I know the man is intelligent as hell. He wears the green dot. He communicates everything to the rest of the players on the defense. And the best compliment I can give to Chuck Clark is that this man is always where he's supposed to be. Something that you can't take for granted when you're talking about the secondary, man. And here's the thing. Do I think Chuck Clark is a superstar? No, I don't think he's a superstar. But this is the thing. You don't need to be a superstar to be a great player and play a key role on a great defense. Think about players in the Ravens past who may have not been superstars, but they played their role to a T, man. And I believe Chuck Clark is that guy, man. He's a leader. And let me take that back. Chuck Clark's a leader. So that's an exceptional ability right there, man. He's a leader. He's where he's supposed to be. He makes sure everybody else is where they're supposed to be. And that's a key, man. That's a huge key. So that's the secondary. Let's get into our middle linebackers. Patrick Queen, Malik Harrison. Both of the, well, we know Patrick Queen is an exceptional athlete. It's the one of the reasons that he was drafted in the first round. He has great instincts. His speed, ridiculous. And I kind of look at him as like a heat-seeking missile, man. When he sees ball, he gets ball. Now, of course, as a rookie, even though he had all the physical attributes, sometimes it takes a little while before you really understand the full NFL game from any position, but especially middle linebacker. Middle linebackers in the NFL are asked to do a lot. And, sometimes I felt like last year you can kind of see him thinking about what he needed to do and just not attacking. But with a full off season, he was able to dive into the playbook. He was able to be around the team and coaches all off season. I think he's going to take a huge leap this year, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Patrick Queen's a Pro Bowler this year. The talent's there. We know that. And like I said, now that I believe the game is slowed down for him, I think he's going to take that next step, man. Malik Harrison. First of all, when you look at Malik Harrison, I think the first thing that catches your attention is that the man is huge, man. Like, he's a goddamn freak athlete, man. Like, he's just like, he's huge. And then when you see him run, that's what's really amazing, because you wouldn't expect a guy that size to be able to run the way he does. But he does, man. And like I said, injuries are unfortunate. And yes, I think the LJ Fort injury does hurt. But I think in the long run, it's going to be a great thing for Malik Harrison. He's going to get more playing time. And I think that's just going to speed his progress into becoming a very good player. So I'm very excited about young middle linebackers. Let's talk about our outside linebackers. Tyus Bowser. A guy who, in my opinion, he's definitely underrated, man. Well, I think one thing most NFL fans, and I know Ravens fans know, is that he's great in coverage. For an outside linebacker, that man's great in coverage, man. He made some fantastic plays last year, and I know he's only going to improve upon that this year. Another thing, even though he hasn't had great success as a pass rusher thus far in his career, man, he has the tools to do it, man. He has the tools to do it. And I think this year that part of his game is going to catch up with his ability in coverage. And if that happens, whew, Bowser's going to be a beast. We brought in the vet, man, Justin Houston, a guy who's just a few sacks away from 100 for his career. Man, that man's a certified beast. And I think if the Ravens are able to use them how I think they should use them, and that's, I wouldn't say just in a pass rush role, but try to, limit his reps, keep him fresh throughout the year, I think he's going to have a great season, man. And not only that, he's great for the rest of the young outside linebackers we have, man. We got Sack Daddy out there, Ferguson. He showed me something in the preseason. I can tell it's starting to slow down for him as well. We got the kid from Notre Dame, Dalen Hayes. And, man, I'm going to tell you what. I'm very, very excited for Dalen Hayes, man. I remember, once again, being at the Ravens training camp this summer at the Castle. And, man, I was just impressed with his pass rush ability. Like I said, I don't... Let me keep it real with you. I don't watch a lot of college football. I'm an NFL guy. Like I said, when I really get into college is, around the bowl game time and, of course, preparing for the NFL draft. That's when I really get into these college guys. And, man, I just didn't know he had this pass rush ability he had, man. He's got a great first step. He's got great bend going around the corner. And, yeah, man, Dalen Hayes, I think, makes a surprise a lot of people. And, of course, we got the first-round guy, Oweh. I'm looking forward to seeing what Oweh is going to accomplish this year. When you hear about Oweh, you hear that he's raw, but the other thing you hear about Oweh is that this man has talent for days. First of all, just physically, just athletically, freak. This man ran with a 4.3 40-yard dash. He's just like, even when you see him in person, I saw him at training camp. Like the guy's just a freak athlete. And I think the Ravens are going to use him, to the best of his current abilities. Like I said, he's got that speed, so I know they're definitely going to use him to rush the passer this year. And I think being that we've got Justin Houston over there, we've got Tyus Bowser, that's going to allow him time to not basically be thrown into the fire. We'll let him use his athletic ability to create mismatches this year. And as the season goes on, he'll get better. And like I said, I think he's going to make an impact this year. But next year, I think that's when he's really going to just explode onto the scene once the game slows down for him. You hear that a lot with young players. The game has to slow down. And, yeah, when the game slows down, that's when you really get to see a player's true talent. So, yeah. Now let's talk about the big boys in the middle, man. So, of course, we got Big Baby, Brandon Williams. He's always going to clog that middle up for you in a running game. We've got Calais Campbell, man, the beast. A healthy Calais Campbell is a problem for any offensive lineman to stop. He seems to be healthy this year, so I think Calais Campbell's going to have a big year. We've got Derek Wolfe. Unfortunately, I think Derek Wolfe's out tonight for tonight's game against the Raiders. He's dealing with a back injury, I believe. But, man, Derek Wolfe last year, I knew Derek Wolfe was a good player. I didn't know he was that good, man. That man's a beast. So, yes, we've got Derek Wolfe. We've got the young guy that I'm so excited about, man. Justin Madubuike, man. Madubuike, you talk about, once again, we keep talking about physical traits. He's got all the physical traits. And when you hear the vets talk about him, they know he has it. And they know if he can play to his ability, man, that guy will be a monster. And I think he has a good chance being with the rest of these vets. He has a great chance, man, to accomplish that. I think this year. I think this might be his year. So like I said, man, oh, I'm sorry. Before I leave this, I got to give love to the OG, man, Pernell McPhee. Can't forget McPhee, man. When I think of McPhee, I just think back to that Tennessee Titans playoff game last year, man. McPhee dominated them offensive linemen for the Titans, man. McPhee's a beast. And he's a guy that I view a lot like you know, a lot of the veteran guys. Like, you know, Calais Campbell, Justin Houston. And that's why depth is so key, because if you can keep these guys fresh throughout the year, they're gonna pay dividends come playoff time. So like I said, man, we've got so many great players that are healthy and that you're going to see on the field tonight, man. Let's talk about the other guys on the offensive side of the ball that we still have to go out there and wreak havoc with Lamar. So, besides Lamar, if you're talking about the Ravens offense, you've got to talk about Mr. Top 5, Mark Andrews, man. I'm so happy that we were able to get that extension done with Mark Andrews, man. Great player. Great player. And we all know Lamar's go-to guy. So, you already knew Andrews was going to do what he do anyway this year. But I know he's going to be even more motivated now that he has that contract, man. So, expect a huge year out of Mark Andrews. Hollywood, man. Hollywood is a player who had so much talent, man. So much potential to be a top player in this league, man. And, you know, we know he had the foot injury that he came into the league with. I'm just hoping, you know, now that he sat out a lot of the off season, you know, rehabbing. I'm hope that he's able to finally be that player that I know he is, man, this year. He's a guy that can take the top off of defense. He's a guy that I'm hoping that we use even more this year in the screen game, man, and let him use that speed, use it to the best of his abilities, man, and go out there and be the playmaker that he is. Let's talk about the other wide receivers that we have on this team, man. So we got Bateman, the rookie. We won't see him for the first few weeks because he's on IR, but man, this man is so talented, man. He was a player that heading into the draft, I was hoping the Ravens would get him. I just didn't know if we would, man, because I don't know. Traditionally, the Ravens just seem to not draft the players I want them to draft in the first round, man. So when I saw that we got Bateman, I was so excited, man, because like the guy's so talented, man. He has good speed. Not great speed, but he's got good speed. He's got good size. He's got great hands. And he's a playmaker. And, you know, that's all you want on offense is guys that's playmakers. Guys that once they get the ball in their hands, first they're going to catch the ball, which Bateman definitely does. He has great hands. And then once he gets it in his hands, he can do something with it. So I'm excited to see what he does once he finally gets back. James Prochet, man. James Prochet. He might have the best hands on the team, man. And all off season in training camp, this man was tearing it up, man. He might have been the most difficult receiver to defend on the other team in the off season, man. Like I feel like every day I was seeing highlight catches from Prochet. We know he has the hands. We know he has the route running ability. The one thing I feel like that is questioned with Prochet is his speed. I mean, he doesn't have great speed, but I think he has more than enough speed to get it done. And like I said, his hands are so good, man. All you got to do is put it on his hands. He coming down with it. So I'm excited for Prochet this year. Devin Duvernay. This guy's got speed. This guy also has great hands. And like I said, I think you can use him in a multitude of ways. You can use him as the deep threat guy to take the top off of defense, but he's also a good possession guy, man. He's not scared to go across the middle and catch the tough passes. So we've got Duve. Sammy Watkins, a guy that, of course, we know he came into the league with very high expectations. He had an injury when he was with the Buffalo Bills, and I feel like that injury and the subsequent injuries he had after that one kind of took away some of his explosiveness. But the one thing that it didn't take away is another guy that has very good hands, and he's just a tough receiver, man. He can be a very good move the chains guy in our offense. And even though he may not have the speed he once had, he's still got enough speed to take that top off, man. So, got Sammy Watkins. Is there anybody else I want to touch on? Let's go into the running back room, man. I know everybody wants to talk about the running backs. Being that we lost our top 3 running backs before the season started, which is insane. I still feel like that's just some kind of sick practical joke, man. Like, it's unbelievable. If I didn't know for a fact it was true, I would swear somebody was playing games. But it's reality. But it just so happens, I think we've got some guys more than capable to keep this running game going with Lamar. Let's talk about the young guy first, man, Tyson Williams. Listen, I'm a realist. I know that preseason performances don't always transform to the regular season. But I'm going to tell you what I saw from Tyson Williams in the preseason was an explosive back that has great lateral quickness, great quickness through the hole, and he makes guys miss. He can go around you or he can go through you. He's got good size. Like I said, I don't know if his preseason performances will transfer over to the regular season, but if they do, man, everybody's going to know this kid's name by the end of the season. But guess what? DeCosta, being just the great GM he is, he knows you don't want to depend on a young player. So he went out. He got some guys for us, man. First, he went outside Le'Veon Bell. Then he brought in Devontae Freeman. And then just the icing on the cake, he brought in Latavius Murray, man. And of those 3 guys that I just mentioned, Bell, Williams, and Murray, Murray's the one that's prepared to come in and make an immediate impact on this team, man. Here's the thing: you can kind of, I don't even want to say kinda. Latavius Murray, he's a freak athlete himself. The guy's huge for a running back, but he has great speed, man. And he's actually coming off maybe his most productive season ever last year with the Saints. So to be able to get Latavius Murray this late in the offseason, man, it's a steal for the Ravens. Like, when you have a lot of bad things happen to you, all you're hoping for is one good thing to happen. Please give me one good thing. And after all those season-ending injuries that that happened to us in our backfield, to be able to get a guy of Latavius Murray's quality this late in the season, man, that's a blessing. That's a steal. I think he, at the least, I feel like he comes in and he's immediately our number 2. But hey, if for some reason Tyson Williams isn't ready for that lead back role, hey, we've got a guy in Murray that's ready to step right into that spot and do so very competently. So we're good, man. And not to forget, here's the thing, Ravens fans, we know Le'Veon Bell very well from his time with the Steelers, man. Le'Veon Bell was arguably the best running back in football for a 3-year stint. And here's the thing. Do I think he's the player that he once was? I mean, no. I'm sure you can kind of see he's slowed down some. But here's the thing. He's still got plenty of talent. And let's not kid ourselves. It's not like Le'Veon Bell's game was really predicated on speed to begin with, man. He's just a good overall back, man. He knows how to make guys miss. He knows how to go through guys. He's an excellent receiver out the backfield. So at the very least, we'll be able to use the receiving aspect of his game to help us out this year, hands down. And Devontae Freeman, another guy who was once a superstar, To be honest, I don't really know what Freeman has left, but that actually excites me as well, because I know if he can just give us 75% of the player he once was, man, just in a limited capacity, man, that's going to do great things for our running game. And like I said, we've got Lamar Jackson, and he's the key cog to our running game. The thing I always say about Lamar, he makes good backs great. He makes average backs good. And shoot, he makes great backs superstars, man. So I feel like this offense is going to get the most out of these running backs. We're going to know what all these vets are, all the vets in Bell, Freeman, we're going to know what they have left in the tank, because our offense is going to get all of that out of them. I always say, if you can't be, as a running back, if you can't be successful in our offense, I mean, it might be time to hang it up. So, like I said, with the guys that we have, man, this running game's good to go. Believe that. The injuries may have knocked our expectations down initially a notch, but when you really think about the big picture, man, bro, we're still going to be able to do what we thought we would be able to do this year. I'm confident, man. And no, that's not me drinking the purple Kool-Aid. That's me just knowing football and still seeing what we have out there. So I'm very confident. And my final reason that I know the Ravens will still be able to compete the way we expect, and they expect themselves to compete, the culture, man. The Ravens have one of the best cultures in the NFL. Starting from the owner, the rest of the team officials, the GM, Eric DeCosta. Of course, we still got the Wizard of Oz out there. The coaches, great coaches, man. Harbaugh's a great leader. And we've got the players, man. So from top to bottom, the Ravens culture is great, man. You always say play like a Raven. And it's wild, because it seems like when we draft players or we pick up free agents, man, everybody feeds into that play like a Raven culture, man. The Ravens going to Raven, man. And what that means to me is we're going to play hard and give it all every time we out in that field, man. And with these players, with these coaches, with these office guys we have, man, they're going to compete. They're going to have their brothers back. Their brothers that are out for the season, I feel like the players take that personally, in the sense that those guys are down, we got to go harder for those guys, man. We know that the outside world is going to think that these injuries are going to be the reason we're not who they thought we were going to be this year. But, man, we're going to be that and more. And that's that Ravens culture, man. Next man up. And I'm going to tell you, we got some next men coming up, man. I mean, some next men. We've got some great next men. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We've got some players. Like, we've got great depth. It's a reason we've won 20 preseason games in a row, man. We've got great depth. Not only are our starters good, but our second string guys, our third string guys are good. And that's why it's so hard to beat us in the preseason, man. And that's why, you know, you'll hear some people say that the preseason doesn't matter. But in moments like this, when you lose as many guys as we have lost before the season even started, that's why those games count. Because most of those guys that helped play a part in those 20 consecutive wins, now they get the opportunity to come up. And that's why I think this Ravens train is going to keep rolling, man. And, you know, we're just used. And when I say we, not only do I mean the Ravens, I mean the city of Baltimore, man. We're used to being the underdog, man. We're used to being doubted. But guess what? The cream always rises to the crop, man. And we got a lot of cream, man, on this team and in this city, man. We got fighters, man. We got people that, man, I just think of people I know, man, that have overcome circumstances that some people wouldn't believe in, man. And they're doing great things in life now, man. And like I said, I just think that the team mirrors the city. We fight, man. We relish the underdog role, man. Yeah. Man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for tonight's game. I'm so excited for the season in general, man. Just to touch on the game tonight a little bit. So Las Vegas Raiders, man, first game ever, first NFL game ever in this Las Vegas stadium, man. So you know the Raiders, they're gonna be pumped, their adrenaline's gonna be gone. But honestly, I think it's gonna be the same for our guys because I mean, even though that's their stadium, we're opening this stadium up with them and shit. So oh, excuse my language, but so I think we're gonna be maybe not as excited as them, but man, our energy is gonna be up there too. And you know, so you got to withstand the first few punches, first game of the season when you're playing a team at their home. And that's even more so when they're, like I said, opening this new stadium up. So I expect the Raiders to come out swinging. So, hey, we just got to be on our Muhammad Ali, man. Float like a butterfly. And then when we get our opportunity, oh, and we're going to get plenty of opportunities, sting like a bee, man. Players to watch for on the Las Vegas Raiders. First and foremost, a guy that Ravens fans are very familiar with, Darren Waller, man. Beast. In my opinion, and I think most people's opinion, top 3 tight end in the league, man. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Like, I'm so happy for Darren Waller, man, just the player he's become. Yes, I wish he would have become that player with us, with the Ravens, but you know how it goes in life sometimes. Sometimes your plan isn't God's plan, man. And apparently God's plan for Darren Waller was for him to get with the Raiders, man. And now he's a beast. So that's the number one thing we have to worry about tonight. Darren Waller, man. We've got to contain Darren Waller. We can't let him get too many catches early and get his confidence rolling. Man, I tell you what, the middle linebackers, the safeties, they've definitely got their hands full tonight dealing with Darren Waller. But you know, like I said, even though he's going to get his, our defense is good enough to still limit what he can do to us. So that's going to be a key. Darren Waller is going to be the key for the Raiders. So we've got to focus on stopping Darren Waller. They also have the second-year wide receiver Henry Ruggs, who has I can't say anybody has Tyreek Hill speed, but he has a lot of speed. So we've got to make sure we don't let him get us over the top, man. We got to watch out for Henry Ruggs, and of course, their running game, Josh Jacobs, great running back, and they also have Drake this year that they got from the Cardinals. So Drake, he's a great receiver out of the backfield. So. And not only that, he's actually a very good runner as well. So we've got to watch out for Jacobs and Drake. I mean, traditionally, the Ravens, we do great against the run. I mean, that's what we're known for, man. Our defense is known to stuff the run. So I'm pretty confident we can do that tonight. And I know that the Raiders have a lot of new pieces on their offensive line, man. So I'm hoping that we're able to take advantage of that tonight. And I believe we will. I don't really like to make score predictions, but I can tell you what, Ravens, we coming out with a dub tonight, baby. We coming out with that dub tonight, Flop. Yeah, I'm so excited, man. I'm gonna have another video for you guys sometime before our next game Sunday against the Chiefs. Basically, just kind of a wrap up on what happened in the game tonight, man. Like I said, man, this is the first my first official video on my YouTube channel, man. So please like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more. I hope you do, man. Hey, until next time, y'all stay safe. Hey, we gonna do what we gonna do, baby. Ravens flock. Love y'all, man.